Hey, so welcome everybody to this new video. Today I'm meeting up with a friend and he lives in a completely different landscape. So I thought to myself, why don't I drive there a couple of hours earlier, make a hike and make full use of this completely different landscape that I'm in. Ladies and gentlemen, and here we are. Big, vast landscapes and mountains. So the first thing that I had in mind when coming here was somewhere in this area there's a big waterfall, which would have been incredibly cool. It was probably like a 20 to 30 meter drop, but I got here and it's completely dried out. So that's quite unfortunate. But okay, I still have this whole landscape, so I'm gonna make the best out of it. And if you have a look at that, gotta take an image of that, right? So we have this very vast view of it here. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm shooting a very simple shot, black and white, because the contrast is quite harsh, so I'm making use of that. Basically, I'm just layering this image, with this being the first layer, because there's still some light on the peaks of the trees. Then there's the shade layer, and then in the background, light again. So every now and then, some of the trees are catching some light, so it just creates some interest in black and white. So it is a really beautiful landscape to the eye, but it's quite hard in terms of photography, because basically everything is just green. So I think doing a black and white high contrast version of this is probably the best I can do. Yeah. Man, this view, incredible. I wish I had something like that at my doorstep. So I'm exploring this forest, I'm walking around, and then I'm coming across this plant. I have no idea what it is, just gonna call it a plant. But the sun has been out for a couple of hours now, so everything is dry, there's no humidity from the morning. But this plant still has so much humidity. I don't think it's humidity, it's actually, it looks like raindrops. It looks like it's quite wet. But I don't think that's what it is. I think this plant has like a sticky surface on the leaves to catch insects. That's what I think. I have no idea, but it looks like a very sticky, slimy surface, and obviously that gives it so much texture and interest, and that's why it caught my attention. I'm getting very close with the camera because I want a very punched in and narrow shot. I want you to be able to see all the details, the texture, the interest. So I'm just waiting for the sun to get blocked by a cloud, because all the harsh light is blowing out all the highlights and the details on the surface of this plant, and I want them to be visible. And I think it just fits the scene better when I don't have this harsh sunlight and more ambient light around. So yeah, just waiting for that for a moment. So right now I'm taking multiple exposures at different focal points, and then later in Photoshop I can stack them and get an image which is completely sharp from front to back, because I want the whole plant to be sharp and not have some blurry spots. I don't think that would fit the image. So yeah, I think I have around 7 to 8 exposures now. Don't think that's quite necessary, but I do want to be sure that I really have everything. So rather gonna take a couple more exposures in the field than sit in front of Photoshop and be like, that is missing and there I got a blurry spot. So rather be sure. So I actually quite like these shots where I can get detailed, get close up with the wide angle lens and get like a very immersive view onto something like a small plant and make it seem so much bigger than it is. That's really cool. Okay, so right next to me there's not too much green, there's a lot of dead wood, and the sun is perfectly hitting with full force. So I've already on a couple of meters seen 3 lizards run, and there's a little bit more. So I'm just gonna go in here and try to get a lizard. Because I'm pretty sure in the next couple of meters there are a couple more. While this idea looked promising, unfortunately all of the lizards had run off and I didn't find any more for the time I was searching. So on we go with the hiking right towards my next image. So I do quite like these trees over here. They look interesting, quite kind of dark and foreboding a little bit, not too nice. But they don't really fit the conditions because we do have the blue skies behind it, and also like there's no real interest, nothing that I can build a composition with. But I do want to take a quick snapshot of that, because I think making the clouds look super dramatic by using black and white and then underexposing the image, so I just have basically the shape and the silhouette of the trees, I think that can work. So yeah, oh, that's perfect right now. So right now the peaks of the trees are aligning with the gap in the cloud. You can see there's like this hole in the cloud. Looks super interesting. And just for a second it was aligning and I got the shot. And I think by using black and white and underexposing it quite a bit, it gives a little bit of drama, which fits the character of the trees so much more. So yeah, just a quick little snapshot on the side. I took one zoomed in because I wanted to focus on the trees and the gap in the clouds. And then one more dramatic image, wide angle. Nothing really special, just a quick snapshot, but I wanted to take it. So if you like my style of photography, I have a course available. It's the first link in the description, and I teach you everything you need to know about landscape photography. Settings of your camera, tips and techniques, everything you need to know about being in the field, post-processing, for example, the focus stacking that I'm going to do with the first image, how you do that, that's in the course. So if you're interested, click the first link in the description. Or if you like some of my images, you'd like to have some of them framed up on your wall as a print, I have some of them available, it's also in the description. So I don't really know how I want to shoot this image, because I have this wasteland look in my mind. That's how I want to bring it across. And we have harsh sunlight, which is perfect. This really fits this scenario. And then there's too much green. But I think I'm just going to have to deal with that in post-processing and make it look more like I have it in my mind. So for now I'm just going to focus on composition. I do want to get a wide shot, but also not include any of the trees and the surroundings, and really focus on this open area, the bushes. And I also think I'm gonna overexpose it a little bit to really emphasize this harsh look. I'm not gonna use a polarizer because that would take away the glare, and that's exactly what I want in this image. Conditions aren't really getting any better in terms of photography, so I'm just gonna call it a day. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, write a comment, this helps the channel grow. Thank you for the support, and see you in the next one. I'm not too convinced about that image. Don't quite like how it turned out. But let me know your opinion in the comments, I'm really curious to find out.